The Smokers Roundtable is a pro-marijuana legalization podcast. We do not support the usage of any sort of illegal substance or any illegal activity. Please check with your local state laws before using.
From days of long ago, from uncharted regions of the universe, comes a legend. The legend of
The Smokers Roundtable.
With Eyeinsee and Ice Cold.
Yo, what's good, world?
What's going on?
Smokers Roundtable back again. Episode 3. What's cracking, man? Your man Eyeinsee in the place to be.
And Ice Cold over here.
What's going on with you, Ice Cold?
Not much, just chilling. I
Right.
want this winter to go away.
Yes, dragging ass. Fucking. Well, actually, this is the May 4th episode, I believe. So the
It's still
motherfuckers is still
technically
gonna be in
spring.
the they're gonna be fucking warm by the time they're hearing this shit.
Yeah.
Just know at the time we're recording this shit, it's still. I'm
30
complaining
degrees
about I'm complaining about it. Like it's been -2s and shit, but goddamn, man.
I want the sun. I want some
Yeah,
heat.
I want to open up the windows and let the funk out. My dog stink like a motherfucker.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Man, anything new with you?
Nah, just watching the news. You hear about that crazy shit where the pilot committed suicide?
Nah, I didn't hear about that shit. What
It's
happened?
called German Wings, and this pilot set the transponder to go from 30,000 to 100 feet. And basically the aviation guy said that he was dropping about 4,000 feet per minute into the side of the Alps in the French mountains
To kill himself.
to kill himself with 150 people with him. That's nuts.
Wow.
So I just, I thought that was a
Damn.
crazy thing.
That's crazy as fuck, man. I don't understand that shit, yo.
I don't
I don't
either.
have the balls to commit suicide.
Nah, man, I couldn't commit suicide if my life depended on it.
Yeah, because, like, real shit, what if you tried to kill yourself? I say you shot
You
yourself
survive.
in the head. Yeah, you
What if
survived.
you survive? Like,
Yeah.
Now you're gonna have a hole in your brain. Be totally fucked up. You probably can't even have sex anymore,
Now you really fucked up.
right?
You know what I'm saying? And you're going to be like, man, shit, wasn't that bad before, but
Yeah.
now.
Now it's just even worse.
Yo, fuck that, man. That's ballsy.
And probably the
That's
only option
balls.
is to starve yourself. And then if that, they'll probably stick tubes in you.
Yeah, they got all
Keep you
types of ways
alive.
to keep your vegetable ass alive today.
Yeah, seriously.
Shit, I see that shit all the time. That's ridiculous, man.
Shit. All I can say is just enjoy your time here because there's a lot of people that drop, man.
Yeah, you greedy motherfucker, man. What the fuck? God damn. Just want to give a quick shout out to my homie Warchild. We was on his video shoot last weekend and
Yeah.
shit.
How was that?
It was pretty dope, man. It was pretty dope. We had some cute ass models out there and shit. It was a well contrived production. The guy who did the videography, he's worked with a couple big name rappers and shit. So
Okay.
very professional, man. It's cool to see those guys in action and the kind of angles they use and shit like that, man. That shit's an art form, man. It's
Oh,
really
yeah.
dope.
Just got to get the lighting right and everything else right.
Yeah.
And just basically just get that right picture because how many takes did they take for, like, on average per scene?
Man, it's probably hundreds of takes in
Right?
that. We were there for maybe like 6-7 hours
I believe
for
it.
part of a 3 to 4 minute video.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you got to get that certain angle. Just got to get everything right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that shit's amazing. When you really have it professionally done like that, it's pretty ill, man.
Yeah, and then even that, they're probably going to edit the shit out of that and probably maybe even splice some things in there.
Yeah.
know
It's
what I
probably
mean?
gonna be like 10 seconds. With some shit.
The
This shit's
actual
fucking
footage.
funny as hell, man.
Wow.
Fucking. And big shots to Philly now, man. Yo, it's fun going out there now that you can smoke on the street.
Yeah, I remember you
Yeah.
get, what, a $25 ticket?
Something like that. Something
it's
like
not-
that. They don't really fuck with you. So you just go outside, motherfucker smoke cigarettes, motherfucker smoking joints. I guess, you know what I mean?
Shit, I'll
It's
just have
cool.
a checkmate to payable to City of Philadelphia ready. $25. I'd be like, officer, you can take this along with the ticket.
Right? And I was thinking, because I was walking back to my car and shit, and I'm finishing up the L and whatnot. And I'm like, damn, if they was watching me, could they see me get in the car then hit me with a DUI or DWI?
Yeah, it would be DWI, right? Driving while intoxicated. 'Cause that's kind of more of a loose, or under the influence. Well, both of them are loose terms.
Yeah,
anyway.
it's gotta.
You could be under the influence of anything.
Yeah, it's one of those. I would get one of them if they see me do that shit. So
which one's worse though?
I don't know,
I think
man.
it's DUI.
I always hear DUI is bad.
Right,
but-
I think that's the worst one because DWI is just while intoxicated. But like,
so I guess that would be you got something in your system, but it's not totally dictating how you drive or whatever.
I guess maybe you're just driving a little radically, and then you just have
And
like
maybe you got this
under
scent on you.
the legal limit of like 0.8 or whatever. So you could have a 0.2, and that's not really warrant enough to be DUI, but you're DWI because you're driving while intoxicated. I don't know.
That sounds right. If there are any police officers that are listening to this show,
Yes, please tweet
tweet
us.
us at SmokersRT and let us know. And we would like to know if you're a police officer anyway, just so you know, so we know. You
It's
about
not a
that
bad
life.
thing. Yeah.
Hey, it'll be whatever.
We just
we
wanna
could be we could be entertaining to sober people too. I'm sure. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, it's just been fun. I've been back on the online dating shit now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, reactivated my profile and shit. Weather's getting nicer, so now I feel like getting out.
Do you want to advertise on here for the ladies? You know what site you can be found on?
I'm on OkCupid and I'm on Plenty of Fish. I don't do none of them paid joints.
All right.
And it's weird. OkCupid, I don't know if OkCupid is only for like hipster chicks or if I only attract hipster chicks.
So you got a lot of hipster chicks hitting you up.
There's a lot of well they're in the search. I don't really come at them.
Okay.
But like because OkCupid does a compatibility thing.
Yeah.
Where it shows like, you know, you're 98% compatible, or you're 70% compatible, whatever.
Yeah.
So with that, all my high compatibility joins are the
hipster chicks.
weird hipster chicks.
Okay, so-
like the funky ones in Philly and shit.
So maybe subconsciously, Eyeinsee, you're a hipster, deep at heart.
Maybe.
I think you might be. I mean,
It might be.
It
It
came
might
out in the
work.
questionnaire, right? You took a questionnaire.
It's like a little vague little questionnaire, John.
So
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
you start need
that's-
to dressing like a hipster, man.
Nah, I can't do that shit with the tight jeans and the.
Yeah.
Nah, man. I don't even
Tight
know where
everything.
them cats shop. Like, they try so hard to be different. Like, where did you get those clothes from?
Seriously. At Babies R Us, I mean,
Yeah, real shit, man. I don't know, but whatever. That'll be interesting. I'll keep y'all updated on that whole venture. It
Good luck
might
with
not
that.
last long. God damn, I hate online dating, yo. That
yeah, because
shit's
that's. I'm sorry, but that's where I think some of the crazy chicks come out on. Like,
crazy dudes too.
yeah, that's true.
Crazy dudes too. I be getting the third degree from chicks, and I understand why. Cause you know there'd be some motherfuckers that try to like I had a homegirl. She let me read her inbox when she was on the site and shit. And these dudes, like, yo,
Were they really graunchy?
motherfuckers, yeah, they get real foul, like,
Really?
quick. Like, the first thing they say is, I want to bury my face in your pussy or some shit like that. Really? That's
what
your
makes
opening
you think?
line?
Right. What makes you think a girl's gonna be really attracted to that?
Right?
I mean, I'm
Right?
sure if you send it out to 1,000 women, maybe 1 or 2 might reply because they like that kind of talk.
Possibly.
But-
God damn, dude.
You can
like,
open up your eyes with a more cleaner line.
yeah, real shit, man. Real shit.
Anyway,
I don't know, but I'm into fit women. If anyone's listening, you gotta spend some time in the gym. That's all I gotta say. Take care of yourself, because I find that mentally attractive as well. The fact that you care enough about yourself to take care of yourself. So
That's
not
true.
being shallow, you know what I mean. But anyway, we got some bare water news that we about to touch on. So let's get that started.
He smokes a reef, he gets high, then he flies to the sky. That funny, funny, funny reef.
Marijuana news.
So on this week's marijuana news, my bad, y'all. I need to mute my laptop. I keep hitting that shit. Versus NFL player, former Broncos tight end Nate Jackson believes that the NFL will have no choice but to remove marijuana from its list of banned substances in the near future. So he's basically saying that a lot of it's a pretty wide used drug. It helps him in recovery and things like that after training or after a game. he likes to get stoned and he likes to cool out. It helps his body kind of slow down and, you know what I mean, recover from the bullshit that he just put himself through.
Right.
Being beat up by a bunch of motherfuckers and shit like that.
Yeah, the human body can only take so much, especially against people that are just equivalent to your weight or even heavier. You know, it's like being hit by a train every day.
Yeah, they go through a lot of shit, man. They go through a lot of shit. And I didn't know, but did you know that in mixed martial arts, like UFC and shit, marijuana's a banned substance too?
Right. So, like, this is the issue he's talking about, right? He's saying, you know, Colorado, he's from the Denver Broncos, and he's saying Colorado legalized it, and if the players want to smoke it, what is the employer going to say? You know what I mean?
Right.
So he's saying that basically the NFL is going to have to learn how to accept it. And take it off.
Yeah, pretty much.
But later in that article, the doctors said that represent the NFL say there's no need for any medical marijuana prescription for the NFL players.
Yeah,
to
he's
their
pretty
job.
much saying they still see it as a dangerous substance or
Right.
whatever.
What is it? Scheduled class 1 drug. It's still labeled as
Yeah,
in the federal statute.
yeah.
And that
yeah,
basically goes
exactly.
along with heroin and cocaine.
Yeah, I think it's worse than cocaine.
Oh,
is what they
yeah,
said.
you're right,
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
Nuts.
But yeah, that's ill because what they're saying here is the NFL, they drug test once a year. So as long as you could pass that initial drug test, then you're good. So a lot of them are actually smoking it. A lot of them are actually using it. You know what I'm saying? But with the UFC, I know they drug test before every fight.
And they test for...
And they test for like steroids and they test for marijuana apparently. And that's really weird because like steroids, okay, that's a performance enhancement. So that's like cheating, right?
Right.
We
It's more of a disadvantage if you smoked when you went on the field.
I would think so.
I mean, you definitely be impaired a little bit. I mean, come on.
Yeah, dude. Like I used to do mixed martial arts.
And smoked, right?
I smoked. And yeah, I was able to, you know what I'm saying, do it. But I wasn't as intense as them motherfuckers that was like army trained and had a fucked up day and a fight with their girlfriend. These motherfuckers are ready to explode. I'm there like, all right, cool, you know what I mean? Throw a couple jabs, whatever. You know what I mean? These motherfuckers, like man, like when we used to fucking spar, yo, them spar classes were fucking terrible. Because you had the motherfuckers who was there who was literally just, I just want to spar. You know how like we used to spar like, I'm trying to test my shit out.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to knock you out, but I'm trying to at least be realistic enough to, you know what I mean? It's a sparring match.
Right.
These motherfuckers used to fight. This nigga almost kicked my motherfucking head off, yo. Like, he fucking just threw that roundhouse and shit. What the fuck are you doing? He's like, that's how we do it, man.
Well, you got to practice like you train, right? I mean, you got to
Again,
fight like you
yeah,
train,
he was one of them pro motherfuckers and shit like that. I'm like, man, I don't bang like that, yo. I'm not paying to get my ass kicked tonight. And what I'm gonna do? I can't kick your ass because you a fucking pro fighter anyway. So
gonna block your kick and then trip you.
It's not like you playing a video game and you take it too far. Like, all right, motherfucker, now we fighting. No, we fighting and you took it too far and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I think that's ridiculous, man. If smoking helps you recover from a sport, you know what I mean, I'm pretty active and shit, and I smoke, and I don't feel like it totally is a, disadvantage or anything like that. It's definitely not an advantage, but if it's what you do at the end of the day,
exactly.
You know what I mean, it's not like you smoking before you got a game.
Right. I mean, I don't think anybody would do that. I wouldn't do it either because I would tire out in a 2-hour game.
Maybe that's why the Seahawks lost the Super Bowl. Maybe the coach was smoking that ooh-wee.
Hold on, because it was a pot bowl, remember? The year before.
The year before was the pot bowl. I'm talking about this past year where it was against the Patriots.
It's all legal and...
You know what I mean? I think the coach was doing some shit because they had that motherfucking game. They blew that shit, man.
Maybe.
But, yeah, something was, I don't know, that's some bullshit. But the next joint I got here is, so this father was chilling at home. He's in Michigan. He thought that he was having a stroke because he had found some of his teenage daughter's pot brownies.
Yeah.
So he ate a substantial amount of the brownies. It wasn't like he just ate one.
But
or half of one.
you would taste it when you eat the brownie. You would taste the difference. Unless they put a lot of
My
butter in it.
man made some brownies while I was at the video shoot, actually.
All right.
I didn't taste a motherfucking thing.
All right.
I didn't taste a motherfucking thing, and I got ripped.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's
He
pretty
put
good.
me up on game. I'm gonna try it when I get some shit.
Okay.
I'm gonna try that shit. Yeah.
Alright.
Because when you do it right and you really let it go long enough, you can get the taste out of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So she must have had them bomb ass brownies and fucking. So he called the
All right.
EMTs and shit like that. Thought he was having a motherfucking stroke. Can you imagine that shit though?
Well, I mean, you could do what the stroke test. What is it called that everybody could learn? It's called the smile test.
Yeah, when you look at, you gotta look at the face and see part
Yeah.
of the face
See if they're
is drooping
grimace,
and shit
and then
like
hold
that.
the arms up, let it go.
But imagine what he was feeling though.
He
'Cause
probably
he
was
didn't
feeling
even
fucked
know.
up because
Yeah,
he
he
never
ate a
smoked
couple of them, man.
Yeah.
He ate a couple. I'm trying to see. Does it say exactly how many he ate?
Having a stroke though, I mean, how would he know? Did he ever have a stroke?
No, but I can almost be sympathetic.
Why, you felt paralysis on one side of the body?
You remember the first time you did brownies?
Sort of.
Was you there at Mark's house the first time we did?
No.
Nah, that was me and Vin. Me and
wasn't
Vin
there.
and Mark. That was the first time we did them motherfuckers. God damn, we put like
You
an
guys
ounce and a half in a pan.
Really?
We was killing them brownies. Yeah, I woke up high. I was.
That's
I
awesome.
do not remember how we got home that night.
Really?
Yeah. When you get them real strong brownies, dude, it's almost not even fun. Like that's why I didn't. Even when we went to Amsterdam, I didn't fuck with no edibles, just because like when you make them right, where it's not that much, and there's just that right center that you gotta have, where it's a nice relaxed sedative.
So
But
be a good balance between the amount of butter versus the actual shit.
and how strong you make the butter and shit like that. Like
Like
you gotta.
what is it, fermenting time? What do you call it?
Well, no, it's more or less the more herb you put into the butter will determine the strength. So you might get a motherfucker who makes a stick of butter out of an ounce, or you can make a quarter with a stick of butter. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna determine how much THC gets transferred over to
okay.
the butter.
Yeah.
So once you got that, then you kind of, you know what I mean? You can see how strong your brownies are gonna be and shit like that. I don't know how strong these motherfuckers were, but even just you not knowing what was gonna happen. He was a 58-year-old man, and he ate a couple of them motherfuckers.
And he
Dude,
thought
he
he was
was
having
bugging
shit.
out. He was
That's-
probably bugging the fuck out.
It's hilarious.
Yeah,
My-
dude.
My one of my high school buddies, his, he gave a brownie to an sorry guys,
Later.
unsuspecting parent, and
Yeah.
he did it on purpose. She ran around the house. Okay, she came down with her daughter, and this lady's kind of interesting anyway. So she
Right.
came down with the daughter to visit my friend Mike down in Delaware. Well, he had some pop brownies
Right.
and gave the mother it and watched her, and she literally ran around excuse
Bless
me around the house naked. And she was just going nuts all around the house, just running back and forth, just having a great time.
Wow.
So I guess so. I guess that depends on how much they eat and
Yeah.
how the person on how they take the experience.
Yeah, because, and also depending on, I learned recently that, you have your indicas and you have your sativas.
Yeah.
The sativa traditionally is more prone to paranoia,
Okay.
a paranoia kind of high. And the indica is more of the couch lock, carefree, don't give a fuck about shit kind of high.
So she probably had
She
the
might
indica,
have had and this
So-
dude probably has some motherfucking sativa because he thought he was going to die. So
That's fucking hilarious.
yeah, when if anybody out there has never fucked with edibles before, it's a different game, man. It's a different game. I truthfully don't enjoy it as much, but I just haven't found that right
Balance.
equation. Yeah, how
Yeah.
much herb for how much, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's why you
Or
live and learn,
whatever.
man.
Yeah, that's true, but then you could just smoke it. And,
That's that's a lot easier.
That's all I'm saying.
Shit.
And the
White
last story
work
we
for it.
got for or the third story, I don't know if it was our last one. So these scientists are finding that marijuana helps keep your brain young.
How so?
And they've been using THC to battle diseases like Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, dementia, and shit like that. It basically the THC interacts with the endocannabinoid system of the brain, and that
Where's that located? Do you know?
I don't know, and I'm not gonna read this article word for word because it's not gonna help all the people that are out there listening to understand. But from what I get, from what I've heard, is that you have cannabinoid receptors in your brain, and that's why that's actually one of the reasons why THC gets you high. So
we're meant to get high.
right,
Okay.
the cannabinoids from the weed interact with the endocannabinoids in your brain, and that has an effect on neurodegeneration.
Okay.
So whatever it is in pot
It slows down the process, the aging process of it.
seems to be slowing down the aging process.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. So
I don't know what to say other than just keep on smoking.
for the most part, and, because I mean, we live in a really high stress society anyway. You know what I mean?
Dude, you don't understand. This society is really stressed. It's
Real
so
stressed.
high strung up. I can see it every day in the roads.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh God.
People are so impatient, and
Yeah.
they feel like they need to, just be in a hurry to get somewhere. But in reality, you're just causing havoc on the
We're
roads.
loaded up on sugar. We're loaded up
Yeah.
on caffeine. You know what I'm saying? We're ready to kill. So really, marijuana is probably a really nice counterbalance for at least with America. Because I know in this motherfucking country, man, Jesus Christ, we're
You know what we need? We need like a big furnace that comes out of the ground, right? And
Mhm.
it just burns weed for us, and we all just smell
Yeah,
weed, and we'll just breathe in
the
THC.
local burning pot.
Yep.
You just
And everybody will just be high, and we'll just be a nicer society.
can you imagine working an office job where it was cool to smoke pot at,
That would be
and everybody
awesome.
takes their pot break?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be kind of funny. Well, you know what's funny? I was watching an interview with Method Man, and he was talking about when they were filming that movie How High,
Yeah.
and he was saying that the director, the producer, whatever, she was kind of subtly getting at them, like they weren't smoking real weed in the movie; it was stunt weed, and she was coming at them like, when you guys first come in the morning, your performance is kind of but in the afternoon you guys really pick up. He was like, well, we would smoke before we got on set, and then our performance would be one way, and then after the weed is worn off, we got something to eat, whatever, and we were sober, the performance was that much better. You know what I mean? So, it's not always good to be stoned.
No, it's not. I could tell you that right now.
Yeah.
I probably should not go to work impaired.
Yeah, it's usually not a good idea.
No.
But my mentality is also, if I can't do it high, I probably shouldn't be doing it at all.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? So it's really
I don't know. Like, I don't totally agree with that, though. Hold on a second.
what
Back
can't
up.
you do high? What can't
I
you
mean,
do?
I could do things, but there would be certain things I would forget to do.
There's
just little
certain-
nuances, like
certain detailed things that you
within the
you
job
may,
task.
but
Yeah.
but you really feel like there's something that you just straight up couldn't do. Like,
No, I
I'm
could
too
do
high
it.
To do this.
No,
you can do it.
I'm not too high to,
If you focus on it, you can
Right.
probably handle all those little things.
But there's just little nuances that will fuck you up, and then you're gonna find out later on that it carried over because that fuck up will be like
Not
you'll
all the
see later on.
time. You know how it is when you're focused high.
Yeah.
Like, all right, if you're stoned playing PlayStation, and you get that stoned focused and you murking shit, right? Because you can get stoned to a point where you can kind of get into a zone.
Oh yeah, it helps
That's all
with
you have to
concentration.
do. You
It definitely does.
Yeah, you just got to get into that zone. You got to know that you're high. You know, I'm stepping in the. Even if you was like going to court.
See, I try that going into work. So I'm like sitting down, right? I'm just doing my shit, and all of a sudden I'm just like, what the fuck was I doing? And I have headphones in. I'm not talking to anybody, so I'm not being distracted. I'm just like, I'm just doing shit, and all of a sudden I'm just like, because I would go off and do something else, like my ADD moment sometimes, and then I totally forget where I left off at, and then sometimes I catch myself because the work wouldn't be showing up on our queue.
Oh, so your job is kind of they can tell if you're slacking.
Yeah.
Yeah. See. Yeah.
So I think I gotta go in just
sober is cool. Sober is cool.
But it makes the day so long.
Sometimes being stoned makes the day long, man.
If you're really tired. If you didn't get enough sleep the day before, I've noticed that.
Yeah, nothing like coming down off some shit and you're fucking tired as fuck and you're stuck. I was in that fucking orientation over a few weekends ago. Yeah. Oh my god, yo. You just stuck in these little ass seats listening to this motherfucker talk. And you're coming down and it's just the worst feeling ever, yo. Jesus Christ. But that's you got any news?
So could you believe this? There's this guy out in the UK. I'll get his name in a second. So he was growing a pot plant in his jail cell.
Pot plant in his jail cell.
Yes. And this is reported on The Sun. I don't know if it's a tabloid from the UK, but it's off their internet site. Anyway. Right. Dopely prison guards unwittingly allowed a convicted drug dealer to grow cannabis in a cell and even decorated 1 4-foot plant as a Christmas tree. Okay. You know. So eventually he got caught, obviously, when somebody came to and recognized the stunky smell. Eventually it has to smell really bad, right?
Yeah.
So, anyway, how stupid are people? Nobody told the officers what it was. It was a tomato plant.
A tomato plant does not look anything like a marijuana plant.
But I thought for a quick second, though, when tomatoes grow first, what are they? Green, right? Until they're ripe and they're red.
It doesn't look like a marijuana plant.
I was trying to give the officers kind of a benefit of the doubt.
No, he was decorating. You said it was a 4-foot plant?
Yeah, he said it was a 4-foot plant that he decorated.
How did you get that to grow in a jail cell? God damn.
He told him it was a fucking tomato plant.
But I mean, just to get like the lighting and shit like that, like. God.
Well, it's only 4 feet, so obviously.
Well, maybe they're allowed to grow plants in that jail. Maybe it's a UK jail, so maybe they don't.
They have different rules.
Yeah, in America, they try to drive you to fucking kill yourself.
And he probably wasn't in high security because he was just a convicted drug dealer. So
well, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
he was a murderer, rapist.
That's funny, man. That's those cops need to do the DARE program or something, man. If you need a drug education, DARE will teach you about some motherfucking drugs.
Hell's yeah.
That shit ruined our generation.
I learned about coke and everything else that was associated.
All
with
that shit from police officers. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, the DARE police officers were my stepping stone.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't have known about it.
No, all types of shit from DARE. Good job, America.
Thank you.
That's weed news.
Very strange news.
More cradle for the baby, right?
Nah, it's the other way. So today's strange news. Talking about, actually, we're just talking about it. Is this article where they're saying that women with big butts have always been attractive, but a new story has found that it's not the actual booty meat, it's the actual curvature of the spine, and that's what catches the man's eye.
Now, what do you mean by? Say, I read this article and I couldn't understand it. So, what do you mean by curvature of the spine? Which way is the spine gonna go? Like, is it out towards the belly, away from the belly, or in towards the belly?
Well, no, it's all right. Let me show here. So this is just a regular picture of a human spine.
Okay.
So you see how it kind of
it curves a little bit.
How it bows out.
Uh-huh.
What's attractive is what they're saying is because it's supposed to be something to do with like childbearing. And shit
to
like
hold
that.
the baby and everything, right?
Right. So when we pull up this picture here of Nicki Minaj, and I will show you. Let's try to find a side. Well, see, she's got a lot of booty meat, but it's still the where's a good one here? Looking. Big shout out to Meek Mill, by the way.
Who's that?
Meek, that's the dude from Philly. He's dating her. Philly. All right. So boom, that's perfect example. So you see how her back it
curves
goes in and then
goes out.
So it's not actually the thickness of the butt that's supposed to be attractive.
How much is sticking out?
Right. It's that drop. So that's why when they get those ass shots and shit like that, it creates the illusion of more curvature.
Yeah.
You understand? Because that's why you'll see. You'll see like some overweight women, and they got big asses, but it looks nasty because there's no shape to it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So it's from the bottom of the lumbar region to all the way down to the coxtail bone. So it's all the way. It leads from there, right? From the lower lumbar to all the way down. Yeah,
and that's supposed
that's
to
what
have
men
some,
look at.
Evolutionary attractiveness.
Well, it's for survival purposes that this article recited, right? Because we wanted to make sure that the woman can bear our children, carry them, and without any complications.
Right. That's another reason why they say like big breasts are more attractive.
Well, yeah, you want more fat tissue so that the baby can get all that milk from the mama.
Right, exactly. So that's pretty interesting how, things that we seem to be so superficial really have these deeper
things behind
meanings and shit like that. And that's interesting because I know this girl and she's real skinny and she ain't really got no butt. But I be looking at her, I'm like, damn, like there was something to it, and that's what it is. She's got that nice shape, but she ain't got no booty meat. So that's pretty.
It makes sense because
nice to know.
Yeah, makes sense. So. Wait, I got a question. So, about this whole booty thing, don't you think that it's kind of an evolutionary thing now with the humans, with our generation or today's people? Because now we have technology to help a child go from birth to out of, from conception to birth, right?
Right.
We have technology for this stuff. So what I'm trying to say is we're not even thinking about that really anymore. It's kind of we're not subconsciously, but we're consciously telling our subconscious we don't care about that. We just care about big booty now.
Well, I think it was always that. I don't think it was ever a conscious choice that she's got a better chance of having my kids. I think even in like the caveman or Neanderthal or early human days, you was just fucking because it looked good. You know what I mean? Like there's certain things like they'll say with women, what is it? It's something where facial hair, like the rugged facial hair in certain, depending on how close or how far a woman is from her menstrual cycle, she'll find certain things attractive about a man.
Oh, really?
So as she's closer to menstruating and somewhere in with ovulation as well, I think it's like more rugged features when she's closer to ovulation, and then she'll like softer features when she's further away from it or something like that. Like everything that you like in a woman has nothing to do with but just making babies. It's all it's about. Everything. But I think it was always subconscious. I don't think it was ever.
We're evolving to where we don't need these instincts anymore. That's what I'm trying to say, though. Like,
so you
because our technology can mitigate these factors now, right?
For now. For as long as we have it.
So, and then, I feel like we're moving towards where we don't need to have these instincts anymore.
Well, we We do, because I mean, what if technology doesn't last? What if something happens in technology?
Then we'll just have to learn again.
But it's already in our DNA.
Oh, that's true.
We've had the DNA for longer than we've had the technology.
Oh yeah.
And I think we're gonna have
a million years at least.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have the technology that long, because we're on a path of self-destruction anyway. So I think it's always gonna be about, that shapely figure. You know what I'm saying? That's why, again, when I get back on the heavy chicks, it's not. It doesn't touch my instincts, I guess you would say. You know what I'm saying? You want a chick who can give you healthy seeds. So when you got a healthy looking chick, you know what I mean? Not too skinny, not too big. Yep. You know what I mean? You ain't got to be 100% perfect.
No.
But again, you just got to take care of yourself.
That's all I'm asking for.
As long as you got that spinal curvature, though, they're going to be looking at your ass.
And there's a few of them at my job.
Word. So... The next thing, this is a funny. I was actually fucking around on Facebook and I saw this and I figured, fuck it, I want to talk about this shit. Right. So you know that you can go to jail if you post up what they call revenge porn.
Yes, I've heard about this. But so hold on a second. I've heard a lawyer say that if you take the photo, oh wait, what if it's the sex text thing, right? So like if they sex text you, their photo. It's not your photo. Okay, but I just want to say something.
Right.
If you take the photo of the person, FYI, you're the owner of that photo. It doesn't matter if you took a photo of somebody. You're the owner of it. It's not the person that is in the picture that owns it. Whoever takes it. By law.
If
anyway,
you upload it to the internet.
Yeah.
And
that's different.
Revenge porn, right? That you can now go to jail for it.
Right. You know what? I don't know if I agree with the jail term. Maybe fining would be a good thing, because I don't think it's a jailable offense.
Yeah, I think that's kind of weird. I don't know how I feel about it.
I mean, it's not like you just did mentally hurt somebody, right? But it's not like you physically harmed him.
You might have fucked something up for him, no?
That's
what if
true.
your boss is on a porn site and sees...
Well, then you smack them down with the fine so that they learn.
Well, you know what?
Make it a heavy fine too.
It's not constitutional, right? Because you're entitled to your privacy.
Freedom of
privacy.
Privacy. Where's in the Constitution?
You have the right to privacy. Isn't that the Fourth Amendment?
That's from the government, though.
Well, yeah.
The Constitution is, it's against the government.
Well,
that's why they don't like it.
So it's not just your own. I don't know. I think it's kind of a dickhead move. Because any porn that I've ever made with a chick, that's my thing. I don't share my porn anyway.
Right. So
I'm not showing that shit to everybody.
But there's some
I don't understand.
assholes out there that probably will.
Some guys, they just get really, really vindictive like that.
Right.
And like, oh, look at this bitch.
Let me go put this on, Tumblr or whatever.
Like, I don't know. That's corny as shit. So they had this list of shit of what you can do to avoid revenge porn. Okay. So number one is... don't sext if you've been together less than a year. So sext is the wrong term. Old people wrote this. Don't send a naked picture of yourself to this dude if you have been together less than a year, or vice versa. I guess you don't want to. Well, guys, don't ever send dick pics.
Yeah,
guys, bitches don't like that shit. Knock that shit the fuck off. Ain't nothing attractive about a penis, even if you're a straight female. Jesus Christ.
So yeah, honestly, I would advise not to even sex text at all. To be cool.
You would say don't ever send.
Don't even say, because you're going to avoid the whole situation if it ever occurs. What if you have a bad breakup 15 years from now, and then they still have that photo?
Yeah, I don't fully agree with that, but because that shit's fun, man. That shit's fun. I like when chicks do that shit. I'm just respectful. But number two is what they're saying. If you do it, don't have your head in the photo.
Well, that should be a give me. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Unless you want to show your body with your face, it's on you. But you got to suffer the consequences.
If that's how you choose to get down. But also for all my fellas out there, that is a fantastic way to get her to agree to do it in the first place. Is you don't. Hey, I'm not gonna get your head in it. I'm just gonna You know what I mean? You do your POV shot where you just getting your junk doing the work and shit like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's a no-brainer because that kind of takes that, you know, removes the victim from the crime.
Yep.
So they also say is don't send nude photos to people who you're not in a relationship with.
Why would you?
You know what? In my online dating adventures, I've had it happen. The
Really?
moment I've had it probably at least 2 or 3 chicks where the moment I've given them my phone number, the first thing they send me is some pussy pictures.
No shit.
Yeah, and seems cool, right?
Yeah,
it's not though because it's really fucking weird. Like,
Why would you do that immediately?
Yeah.
Do you even want to mess with that kind of chick?
Exactly. It's the red flags, and maybe that might work for a guy who's like 19, 20, and
horny as hell.
Yeah, out of control testosterone levels and shit. But when you're dealing with someone who's been around the block once or twice, that shit is weird. So yeah. But really bigger, I'm still gonna say bigger for guys, because I talk to a lot of like porn star chicks on Twitter and Instagram and shit, and it's funny hearing the stories of the dudes that just send random dick, but not even porn stars, regular chicks, like girls on my Facebook and shit. I've heard stories of dudes who just inboxing pictures of their dick.
I guess they figure,
man.
Is that like kind of like a sort of a ego thing? If they send it, like if the girl likes it, you know, and then kind of writes back, and then he's like, oh yeah, ho ho ho, I got a chick because of a picture of my dick.
I really don't think there's ever been a woman out there that is like, that's been the game changer. Is he sent me a picture of his dick, and then I was just like, hey, fuck it.
Yeah,
let's go
right?
for it. Like that's the determining factor.
Yeah, even
that's how I met your father, kids.
Right. Even if a girl would send me a picture of her vagina or boobs, whatever the fuck.
Right.
You know, I don't think I would be, I mean, I would like it. I mean, I'd be like, oh, whatever, you know. I'm not going to deny I'm not going to look at it. But what I'm saying is, I don't think I would want to mess with that kind of chick who's just going to send it right off the bat.
Right off the bat is, it's definitely
Why don't we just work this up, you know, talk a little bit.
Yeah, when y'all have been dating and shit, I've had that scenario. That's been majority of my scenarios when, you know what I mean, you're dating and y'all might be away from each other for a few weekends, or you might be at work and she's home and she's fucking with me and sending pictures like that. That shit's torture. But it's fun. It's cool. It's cool if you're a couple, y'all trust each other. You know what I'm saying? So, also they're saying don't do any sort of text with identifying details. So that would be like tattoos.
Tattoos, right? Okay.
Yeah. Don't ever send nude photos while under the influence. Whatever.
Yeah.
Don't send complete nudes, just partials. So that would be like just a little tease picture or whatever.
Yeah.
And don't let the recipient keep your sext or nude photo. Watch them delete it.
See, now that's a toughie, right? Because our phones are pretty much password protected these days. Mm-hmm. Everybody, you know, the Apples, the Androids have fingerprint. Most of them do now. I mean, it's... how are you going to get them to delete it? Is that going to be a make it or break it relationship? So the answer is not to do it at all.
I've been hiding pornography since I was 14 years old.
So have I.
You will never find my porn.
I lost all those porn when I was like 14.
I got caught once.
Oh, I got caught. I definitely got caught. I used to print them out and my mom would find it.
They found, remember in, I think it was Windows 95 where it used to have that shit where it would say where you just been.
On the
it was on the Windows operating. Nah, it was on the Windows operating system.
like the My Documents.
Yeah, you were gonna start, and it would be I didn't clear that out one day,
funny.
And I think my pops found him, and my pops found it, and I think he dined me out, man.
He told your mom?
Yeah, because my mom was like, delete that shit, and then my dad was like, or you can just give them to me. But I was like, my mom didn't use a computer like that, so it had to have been my dad that found it.
Yeah,
How you gonna dime me out, man?
Was it that the computer was sitting on the sort of the basement floor by the kitchen?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. That's where I used to have all that shit.
Why are you looking at porn there anyway? Dude, you have your mom walking around.
One computer.
Yeah.
It was late at night.
Okay.
You know what I mean? 2, 3 in the morning and shit. Remember how it used to be when you were 16?
Yeah.
Up late at night and you trying to cover up the sound of the dial-up internet and shit.
Dude, I always
You know
had
what I'm saying?
I had the same problem.
That's what we
That's
used to
funny.
have to go through, man. These young kids, they don't know. They can just pull it up on their phones now and shit.
Yeah.
We used to fucking go through it, man. That old school internet
Sneaking
porn.
that shit.
Yeah.
Remember how to hide your files?
Yeah. Used to safeguard the fucking the floppy disk and shit.
Yeah. I caught my dad with porn
Yeah.
on the computer. Yeah.
That
I know it
shit's
wasn't mine.
irresistible.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, remember the chat room exchanges and they used to do that shit?
Yo, dude, those chat rooms exchanges were pretty nasty because remember one time we got sent a photo of
Some weird shit?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
that's some crazy shit.
Yeah, I do remember those chat rooms. That shit, oh god. Yeah, people are into weird porn, yo.
Yeah. So anyway, there's a lot of sick people out there. You
Yeah.
know, and I'm glad cops are out there looking for this shit though, because like they shouldn't be doing that kind of shit.
All I gotta say is, ladies, don't jump to the conclusion that you don't want to stop sending out nude pictures, because I do enjoy that shit. But you do have to be smart with who you send your shit to. So if your dude seems a little creepy, you don't want to have him. You don't want him to have naked pictures of you. Make sure you got a little time in with this motherfucker. Make sure he's cool. You know what I'm saying?
At least get a naked picture of him so that you can hold it against his ass.
I wouldn't care. I got dick pics out there somewhere. I've done it before, but I won't do it again. But again, it was by request. It was by request. It wasn't unsolicited.
Really?
So
I never had a chick ask me to, hey, stand naked and take a picture.
hey, so all depends
My
on the
ego's
type-
like-
all depends on the type of chick that you're dealing with. Sometimes they get into that shit. So
That's true.
well, so that's Strange News. We about to get into entertainment and bullshit.
The longest lasting.
Full of black nuts won't get soggy in 90.
Always come up short.
Because we want to analyze your situation.
Entertainment and bullshit.
Yeah, so today's entertainment and bullshit. I didn't really know where to categorize this one, but they're saying that these drone pilots are quitting in record numbers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're saying it's a combination of lower class status in the military, overwork, and psychological trauma appears to be taking a toll on these drone pilots. So they're kind of seen as the bitches, I guess, of the Air Force.
Yeah, because they're literally playing a video game. To them it is, because, you know, you're just sitting down and
Yeah.
you don't feel any effects of Air Force, you know, the G-Force. And besides, you know what? They're taking the Air Force pilots out of the need for it to have Air Force pilots.
Oh, so they're probably the bad guys of the whole situation.
Right. It's like almost like the new replacements, you know.
And that explains them being overworked and shit.
Yep.
And then the psychological trauma, that's my whole thing.
That's
I
another
couldn't
thing.
do that shit.
You gotta, you could watch on the screen the whole time while the missile just, you know, heads towards its target and detonates and does whatever carnage it
killing
does.
fucking innocent men, women, and children.
Yep.
For no fucking reason.
Such a bad thing.
I think that's what happens with most of these soldiers that come home, yo. Is I think they get conscious of the bullshit. At least the motherfuckers that get that post-traumatic stress shit. I think that's what it is. They go out there and they see like, yo, all we doing is just they're
killing
crusade.
people. Yeah.
We're just crusading on these motherfuckers, and then
Well, the suicide rate, isn't it like
can't live with themselves.
3 times higher than just normally it is? Like it's high.
It's crazy high. It's
People
crazy
just-
high. I knew a dude who's got some sort of post-traumatic stress, and I don't know him that well, but from what I heard, like he's got little triggers, little ticks.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
My girlfriend's her her friend's husband just came back from Iraq.
Yeah.
He has PTSD.
Shit's fucked up, man. That's fucked up.
So
motherfuckers over here talk.
I just want to throw. You know what? I thought of something this week about this whole war shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we could stop these wars. We could do it really quick.
How's that?
And we will know it's really in the interest of our freedoms and our everything else. We make every senator and every congressperson's family members that are eligible to go to the military to sign up first to be at the front line.
Yeah.
It should be a law. You want to get paid 6 figures off my back and live this life and make those easy decisions to send other people's kids out to war?
Yeah, you gotta sign your own.
You gotta sign your own kid up.
Hell yeah.
And then, okay, fine. Then we will know that this is a real war that we need to fight because they're willing to send their own kids out there.
Exactly. Because these shits ain't even wars, man. They're just straight up invasions.
It's pretty much. We're just plundering them, man.
We've been in motherfucking Iraq Vikings for what? 13, 14 years?
We still can't fight them off.
Yeah. Because they don't, I mean, that's the thing that kills me when they show like, oh, these guys are getting beheaded and whatever, these Middle Eastern people. They don't want y'all there.
Yeah.
They don't want you in their country. So get the fuck out their country. Basically. Like, how can you not empathize with these people? I really don't understand how a lot of Americans sit here like, oh, they're the bad guys.
No,
how?
Because we're sort of sociopaths, I think.
Yeah.
I think, like, in a sense, like, we look at it only from our side, you know, to the benefit of us.
Yeah, very much so. I think if you were a fully programmed American, that, you're pretty much a sociopath.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because it's this country's really fucked up.
How could you not care? Your tax dollars are paying for the murder of innocent men, women, and children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
even
there
your
might be
own
some
soldiers.
rebels out there. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Our soldiers are getting killed because... And you know what? We're less safer in this world going to certain countries being a U.S. citizen.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
They'll kidnap you.
Getting a bad reputation. Like, you gotta understand there's a reason why these countries don't like America. Like, it pisses me off when they hate us for our freedoms. What the fuck does that mean?
Do we hate them because they're communists? I
don't care. Like, they're not thinking about us. They hate us because we're in their country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're jacking them for their shit. You don't understand how these bankers are going around country to country and jacking for natural resources.
Exactly.
Then they hate us for that. And then they see us as the citizens and we got our thumbs up our asses acting like, oh, what's wrong?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what your fucking government's doing? But this is the thing, like...
I think they truly do know, but they just decide to turn the blind eye, man. I think they just deny.
Nah, your average person doesn't know.
You don't think
Some people turn the blind eye, but your average person, nah, man. They believe the bullshit 100%. They believe that, these Muslim terrorist motherfuckers want to destroy us because it's been the context since we were kids. Good guys versus bad guys.
Yeah.
So it's the easiest way for you to digest things. People see things in those types of dualities.
Yep.
God, devil, G.I. Joe versus Cobra.
Yeah.
So it's Al-Qaeda versus America.
Yep.
And that's just it's all they've ever known.
Yep.
Yeah. They don't understand that there's intricacies that G.I. Joe's doing some fucked up shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's...
Sad, man.
Yeah, it's the propaganda that they feed you.
And on that same, to dovetail on that, did you know that Breaking the Set was canceled? Abby Martin's show on Russia Today.
No, why?
Yeah, I don't know why they canceled it, but it's off the air.
Oh, that
sucks. They did her. You can see the last episode on YouTube and shit. So, big shout out to Abby Martin, man.
Yeah,
she's a motherfucking
awesome.
soldier, yo.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a lot of love for Abby Martin. Hopefully, we can try to track her down one day and try to get her on the show, let her kick her knowledge, because she is
Yeah, we should hit her up on Twitter and find out she'll do that.
Yeah, we'll try to reach out. We'll see what we can do, man. We try to make the show interesting and shit. She's really dope, man. I like her perspective. Her show was really the only reason why I watched that fucking network.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
Yeah, they got a couple other alright ones, but
they try to be balanced with the Democrats.
Yeah, she didn't give a fuck.
Nah,
you know what I mean? She was
just
about what she was about. She didn't try to kiss ass at all.
Nope.
So that could have been a reason why they got rid of her too, because she's a take no Take no
probably
prisoners.
Yeah, she probably wanted to report it on the Russian government.
Yeah, it's
like, no.
possible. It's possible.
We get funded by the Russian
You know what I
government,
mean?
so
Yeah, hopefully, man, fuck that. Abby, get your ass on Kickstarter. Get yourself some money raised and shit like that, and get yourself a YouTube show. You know what I mean? And go about it like that, because we'll still support, man. We need motherfuckers like that out in the world.
Yep.
No doubt.
You know, there's other sites like GoFundMe too. You could use.
Yeah.
You don't even need Kicks. GoFundMe, you could pretty much have any reason to ask for money.
Well,
but you have to use the money for what you're asking for.
It's certain. Yeah, each site has its own stipulation.
Right.
Like I think Indiegogo, you keep a certain percentage of the money if you don't raise your certain goal or something like that.
Yeah.
Or each site has its own stipulation.
GoFundMe,
so
you
whatever
don't.
one,
Yeah, if you don't meet your expectations, you don't do it. You could keep all of it.
you still keep all
Yep.
of it. So
I
that's
looked it
the
up.
one. All right,
It's
cool.
pretty interesting.
We probably gonna do one too, just cause. Fuck
Yeah.
it.
You know, we need some help over here because
Yeah,
we're
I
starting
mean,
out.
production and shit, marketing, advertising, all that good shit. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Next story. That Madonna, who is age 56, says that older men are not dateable.
See, I don't understand this. Yeah, I guess they might be wrinkly or whatever, you know. It's like old women. I mean, you know what? I can't blame her because men don't date old women.
Nah, she got money. She can afford to date a
Young guy.
yeah, she can afford to date a younger
And
guy.
besides, she doesn't represent all the fucking women anyway.
Nah, but what she's saying is that most of the men that are her age, married with children, they're not actually like available, dateable, or whatever. And she's more of a adventurous person. She's got a crazy life. She's a musician. She's fucking Madonna. So I guess a young dude would match her energy more.
Yeah, 'cause she
whatever.
needs that libido, man.
Yeah, I guess so. She needs that shit beat up.
Yep.
But that's kind of a trend in Hollywood where you see a lot of these older chicks, they're getting younger guys and shit like that.
Yep.
I don't know, man. You think
Demi
you could
Moore.
date somebody that was Madonna's age? She's 56 years old.
My current age, no.
Could do it?
No, I couldn't. Well, I don't know. If I had a kid already, because she can't have a kid now.
Who cares about that?
I want a kid.
Yeah, but you wouldn't date her?
Um,
You wouldn't fuck around with a 56-year-old chick if he was single?
if I was single, nah, no.
There is no chick that's possibly of the in that age range that you don't think that you would mess around with.
Well, I don't think she's 56. Jennifer Aniston I would fuck with.
Jennifer Aniston's probably in her 40s.
Right.
But, all right, we're going to do some live Googling.
All right. But, like, so, all right, while you do that, I mean, I wouldn't, I don't know. It's all used down there, and it's very loose and very...
You've never messed with a chick that age, so you don't know that.
You said...
Jennifer Aniston
But, yeah.
is 46.
I'll fuck
So she's got 10 years
that. Yeah,
less than Madonna.
because by that age, gravity is taking over. Unless you have money for plastic surgery.
Most of these chicks do. I'm not gonna lie. Madonna's not aging that gracefully. All right, but you know what? All right,
She's
so here's
damn near
one.
60.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus from Seinfeld.
I think I would fuck her.
54.
She's aged pretty well.
She's 54.
Yeah.
She's pretty bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on. That's not a bad one. So I would go there. I will go there and see.
Definitely.
What was another one? See, 40 something doesn't count. That's where most of mine are. Cause like I still think MC Light looks bad as shit. She's fucking
I don't even know who she is.
She's a rapper. She's an old school rapper.
MC
She's
Light.
beautiful. Yeah, MC Light is beautiful. I'll pull up a picture of her for you.
Oh no,
And,
I kind of like him young.
I'm just saying, if you were in a situation like, I'm not saying just a random chick, Even with a random chick, but this is given the situation of Madonna, right? She's a millionaire. She's rich. She could upgrade your life. That's MC Light. She's bad,
yeah,
right?
She's bad.
Yeah. Fucking, because I've heard this story before. One of those dudes I used to work with, his pops. There was this chick that used to come around this bar. She was like 70-some years old. Her husband had died. She was a widow. She had all this money. She was, and getting older. The money was starting to lose value to her, and she just wanted companionship. So she just wanted to find a young guy to dump this money on to spend time with her.
No shit.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, older chick. And his pops didn't do it. And he kicks his pops every day about it because, again, it's like, damn, man, like, your life really, like, she had millions.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
and
he
she
could
was
have
getting old.
comfortably.
Yeah, and I think that's a...
But wouldn't you fall in the gold digger category? Because that could be reversed rolled right there from women trying to gold dig off men all the
Yes,
time.
but she's offering it. You're not looking for an older woman to give you money.
But the women who will pay for younger
she
men.
She becomes fond of you and says, I want to give you this money or whatever. I want to leave my shit to you. You know what I'm saying? But
I just find
want to spend the rest
weird.
It would be weird. I've never messed with somebody who was that old.
Yeah.
But if it was a life-changing experience financially,
I guess.
I don't
if
know.
I was single and,
Yeah,
but
I don't know, man.
I don't even know. It would have to be very enticing.
Yeah, women do it, and Nicole Smith did it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
women.
Smith
For some reason, I think it's easier for women to gold dig easier than men can.
Well, naturally, because we want to give them our shit anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what? I would do it, but the stipulation would have to be I gotta be allowed to bang other chicks. It can't be an exclusive thing. You know what I mean?
She's not gonna want it that way.
Why not? She's
gonna
70-some years old. She's got life experience. She knows what it is. I'm a young man. I gotta wash that taste out my mouth. I need something else, man.
That's why you got scope, man.
Oh God, nah. I would have to be allowed to at least have 2 girlfriends and her. So I would come home to her big ass crib and wait for her to die, so I can get my paycheck. But then other times when she's out on business or whatever, she can watch. She might be into that.
Yeah.
She can watch me with the young chicks. I just
Or
have
she
to
could be
explain
in
to her.
Would you have her in the threesome?
Man, that's gonna be a conversation. And can you imagine me trying to explain that to a young girl?
Yeah.
Like,
hey.
Look, this chick, she got millions, but we gotta fuck with her.
Yeah. So
it's not a pretty sight. But we gonna get paid.
I think 80-year-old women do it, right? 70-year-old women do
I
it.
don't think so. I think eventually your sex drive shuts down.
Right? Does their uterus just come out and just disappear? No.
Well, I mean, there'd really be no purpose once you're, at that age and shit. So, I don't know, man. But I've heard stories of it, man. I've heard stories like that, and that's kind of crazy.
Have you ever seen 56-year-old pussy?
No.
It's nasty. I'm not going to say how or why I know this, but yeah.
It might not all be. There's some 56-year-olds who are tight, who are in... Julia Louis-Dreyfus is 54.
Yeah, but if they stay in shape and then they take care of them.
That's all it is. It's, because shit, there's 30-year-old pussy I don't want to see.
Yeah, there's some stinking. I've seen some stinking ones too.
Age don't really count, man. It's all about the individual.
But age doesn't help either.
Nah,
that's what I'm trying to say.
But again, Madonna's tight. She got a little 6-pack.
Yeah, she's in shape.
I mean, yeah. I heard she's trying to fuck with Drake. I think Drake needs to do it. Do it, Drake. Do it. Get that payday, bro. I know you getting it now, but go on and lock it down, man.
I just something just came to mind. I'm sorry. I really have a wandering mind. In the weed news, right? So, do you remember that actress from Empire She's Terrence Howard's, I think, wife in there.
I've only seen. I think I know the chick you're talking about.
Right,
The
she
one
played in
with some baby boy.
Beloved, Benjamin Buttons. Yeah, she played in the other movie, Hustle and Flow.
Yeah.
Right?
Hard out here for a pimp.
Yep. Anyway, so she, her son got pulled over in California the other day.
Yeah.
And he had smoked marijuana in the car. And he was very honest with the cop and everything else. And, you know, before the video was released, she was very critical of the police department and how they handled their son and profiling and everything else.
I heard about that.
Yeah. So, and then what happened? So the police department immediately releases the video and shows that the police officer was very nice to the gentleman and he even thanked him for being honest with him about the marijuana. And while this kid was driving, by the way. So you know what the officer did? Just gave him a citation and let him go home.
So she lied?
No, she was just very critical. She didn't lie. She just was very critical about how they're being profiled and the kid.
Yeah,
and
she said her
else.
son was racially profiled.
Right, but when after the fact that they, came out with the video, they showed that they weren't being, racist and so
that's
forth.
why I saw the story where she apologized. Like I was headline following it, but I didn't know the details.
So now the police department immediately released the video to show that no, the officer was very courteous. But of course, they would immediately release it because the officer didn't do anything. He was actually really nice.
Right.
In other words, like if this was a different situation, if you shot the kid,
they wouldn't have.
Yeah, they wouldn't
released
have released
the
that
video.
shit.
Well, yeah, of course they didn't have anything to hide.
But anyway, she was very quick to react and say that the police department was, they're racial profiling this kid, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I can't blame her. She might have some past experiences that might lead her to this conclusion to, quickly say.
Well, yeah,
but she
black
did,
people get racially profiled. We definitely do.
yeah, but she did personally apologize to the police officer, the particular police officer, and the police department.
Right.
To say, I overreacted. I was jumped to conclusions too fast, and I'm very sorry.
Yeah, yeah. It's that thin line, man. It's that thin line.
But in California, that kid was let go for smoking weed.
You're allowed to. You're allowed to smoke and drive in California.
Really?
Mm-hmm. From what I've heard.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he might have a card. Yo, you can get a card for like insomnia in California, yo.
No shit.
Yeah, I apologize to the listeners. I don't know if y'all can hear the dogs in the back, but my neighbors just released the dogs.
Damn,
my dog's back there, and they are going at it. So I apologize if that shows up in the background.
God damn. Yeah, they sound like they're fighting back there.
Yeah.
But there's a big fence.
They'll stop. My dog will eventually stop fucking with them. She don't do that shit. So
yeah, she's lazy.
Yeah, word. So what was that? Entertainment news? All right, cool.
Yeah. Sorry for sidetracking you.
Yeah, right. Next, health and wellness is next.
Health and wellness.
All right. So today's health and wellness is so it looks like it's Burger King has now joined the other restaurants as far as I think it's McDonald's and Wendy's, where they're not doing soda with kid meals anymore.
I think that's a good move.
It's positive.
Yes.
Very positive, because little kids don't need to be loading up on that high fructose corn syrup and all that bullshit that's
And all
in
those
there.
sugars, yeah, it's just bad.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a diabetic society.
That's why we got the I think that's the reason why we're the most obese country.
Oh, hell's yeah.
Is
Dude,
because we put sugar in everything, man.
actually, Mexico beats us now.
Really? In
Yeah.
sugar?
No, in overweight population.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
U.S. was number one for the longest time until Mexico took it the other.
Wow. I
couple
knew
years
that.
ago.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, like when we were in Europe, like their soda, it's got, the cane sugar. It's
Yeah,
not
and
that
they're smaller, aren't they?
Yeah, everything's smaller.
When I went to China, Korea, same thing.
Yeah.
Everything's smaller portions.
Yeah, when we got picked up by the cab driver and shit, he had the little this little Dixie cup of coffee. Like a Dixie cup of coffee, dog?
Is it THC coffee? I mean, like, what's the point of that?
I don't know. That's their size. Well, really, when you get like a drink out there, it's like a small in America. That's your average.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah. They don't do it big out there. We do it huge in America.
I wish I'll tweet this when we air this, but I'll show you the difference between a Chinese portion at KFC and versus a U.S. portion. You can see the tremendous differences in sizes. It's nuts. I went to China and I was like, oh, there's KFC. At least I can eat some American food, right?
Right.
So I go there. I order like two wings and mashed potato and some soda.
Right.
And I get the fucking thing. And the thing is, if I close my fist, the mashed potato was about that big, the portion, right? And then also if the chicken wings were like, I think they were taken for little chicklings. Like, I mean, like they were small.
Really?
Yes.
Shit.
The portions are really small.
That's crazy.
And I was like, this is for what? $5 here?
That's the thing, yo, because like when you go on a diet and you eat less, like the first week or 2 weeks is kind of difficult to adjust, but eventually your stomach, they say your stomach shrinks, but it's not actual shrinkage of your stomach. It just gets used to the capacity of, having less food in it and shit like that. So in those countries, it's nothing to them. You know what I mean? You have a dude who's my size and he's like, yeah, this is how we eat.
No, right.
And like they're used to it.
Yeah.
And big ass Americans come over there and we gotta get fucking 2-3 meals in one sitting to fucking be able to match what we would get here in America. That shit's crazy, man.
And you know what the health fact is with these foods that we eat, fast processed foods that we eat and everything else. So you know about the omega-3s, omega-6 fatty acids, right? Mm-hmm. As far as whether or not if it's good for cardiovascular or prevention of stroke, lowering cholesterol. Well, they say there's a 17-to-1 ratio of 17 omega-6 to 1 omega-3 in our processed foods. And omega-6 is more of an it's more of an inflammatory type of fatty acid. So we do need it, but it more so we need it to 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 ratio. 2-to-1 being 2 omega-3, right?
Not too many
to counteract the
sixes.
inflammatory with the anti-inflammatories.
That's probably why they recommend supplementing with that shit.
Right.
That's crazy.
Because we're eating so much processed. If we eat so much processed foods, we're going to need to cancel out the omega-6s. The rest, we're going to grow cancer cells. We're just going to...
Yeah. Man. I don't know. So, if you do take your kids to those restaurants... I don't know.
Think about the processed foods.
Yeah, the soda's the least of the concern. That was that shit like they were doing in New York with Bloomberg trying to cut back the soda sizes. Like I felt them on it and shit, but
I don't think government should be involved anyway. Like who's to say if I want to drink a double 6 gulp ounce whatever?
Yeah.
Like a big gulp from 7-Eleven.
They're convenient when you go to the movies with your girl.
Yeah, because you're going to
share a joint. Yeah,
right. That's what I do.
That's the most convenient thing when you get them big ass buckets and shit like that. But yeah, I don't know. That was kind of gay of him. So the second story we got here is if you take a shot of vodka, if you feel like your breath is a little funky, a straight shot of vodka, will kill the bacteria that causes bad breath. So if you go out on a date and you didn't bring your breath mints or any gum or anything like
think
that,
you're drunk.
Nah. You do it before. You always show up to the date a little bit early. So if you know what I mean? Yeah.
Some
then you just
Banaka.
you don't need the Banaka. You do the vodka, and then the vodka will fucking. Because I like to take a little drink before I go out anyway. You know what I mean? Just a little something, take the edge off.
Yeah, that's true.
Loosen up and shit. So. That's like a life hack. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Take a straight shot of vodka. Or if you notice that her breath stink and you don't want to be rude about it, just like take a shot of vodka with me. I can't do straight white liquor though, man. That shit's nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do straight brown, but I can't do straight white.
I can't drink liquor period anymore.
Yeah.
I think I've gone to the point where if I drink liquor, I get sick the next day.
Yeah. Yeah, well, body wise, I don't like drinking at all anymore.
Yeah, but if I had to choose,
very rare.
Yeah, brown liquor would be cool.
Yeah, I'll fuck with that. Or
some Hennessy.
Yeah, I'll still do a beer on occasion and shit like that.
Yeah.
Or some wine if I'm with a chick. But yeah, the liquor hits the body way harder, man. That was a story I saw too. Is there's even like they did a survey on doctors or some shit like that, and they asked like, you know, the weed versus alcohol, and all the doctors were like, yeah, the weed's way more beneficial for you than alcohol is, and it's just, you know, every week we're gonna continue to prove that point. I think
just gonna keep pounding it until it becomes. Another thing in New Jersey. Governor Christie is being a dick right now.
Fuck Chris Christie. Fuck
Chris Christie, by the way. You know, fuck you. Anyway,
what's he doing?
He says not a chance in hell for New Jersey while he's in office.
Yeah.
So if you know, for all you people out in New Jersey, man, power of voting, at least we could knock him out.
Yeah, let's make sure the next person that we pick is somebody that's a little more level-headed, because Jersey's a fucked up place to be, man.
This state sucks. We pay the highest insurance rates in the state.
Yeah.
Highest everything.
Super fucking high taxes, and it doesn't show in anything. So yeah, man. But I think whoever comes in next I think they're gonna take the reins off the marijuana thing a little bit.
I hope.
Yeah.
They're going to need to, because the state's going to be in the... somebody brought up a good point the other day at work. He's like, because New Jersey's going to be in such a big budget shortfall, they're going to need to legalize it so that they can generate the tax revenue.
Yeah, true.
Just to make up for that.
True that.
Or they're going to steal from people's pensions or raise taxes. What are they
I mean,
do?
that's what they're doing right now, is stealing out of the police pensions
Right.
and shit like that. Yeah.
So, and then
they
eventually...
fucking them over too.
Yeah, exactly. And are these police officers going to protect the politicians that stole their money?
Yeah, that's another good point. So let's get that shit going, because it's sad to see what's going on in AC now, man. That shit's heartbreaking.
Right? But
That
did you hear
place
about the
sucks.
Stockton College down there?
Yeah, I heard they're going to build a dorm on the boardwalk.
Yeah, right there, right next to Taj Mahal and Trump. But did you hear that they're trying to put an injunction against Stockton College, because there's a law from 10 years ago, and that was enacted saying that only casinos could build next to casinos.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Why would they stop that?
Because Taj and Trump are saying, and the other casinos are basically saying that they could wander off into the casinos and stuff, and they might get in trouble for it. But I feel like Trump should be responsible for themselves anyway. Shouldn't you be checking for IDs anyway at the doors?
Yeah.
You just gonna let anybody walk in and play?
Here's my thing. AC is dying. So if you have a college dorm down there, and you got college pussy running around AC, motherfuckers is gonna come out. Shut the fuck up. That's a blessing. All they gotta do is reopen Revel.
Yeah.
All they got to do is reopen Revel. You'll have a college. That's because that's the crowd they need anyway, man.
Yeah, I know.
That's the crowd they need. They keep trying to appeal to these old people, and motherfuckers who is older that just are all about gambling are going to the other places. Philly, everywhere in PA. It's way closer. It's less of a drive. Yep. Motherfuckers are coming to AC to party.
I know.
So that Stockton College thing is a blessing. Someone needs to buy out motherfucking Revel, reopen that shit, and get that shit popping. That needs to be the new Vegas, yo.
I think it was bought out for even cheaper though. The same guy, the French guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he backed out of the deal and he came back in and he bought it for cheaper. And he agreed to the terms with those vendors inside there, because there was a big contention between them.
Those places are all really dope anyway.
I know.
You just gotta open it, man. It just didn't have enough time to operate. But that place is nice as shit, man.
Yeah, they fucked up.
Yeah, they fucked up real big.
I wish I had $90 million. I would buy that shit.
Man. Yeah, because that's some pimp ass shit, yo.
Hells yeah.
Hell yeah. So that is today's health and wellness. Went off on a tangent a little bit, but fuck Chris Christie.
Fuck Chris Christie. Hashtag fuck Chris Christie.
And now for our feature presentation.
So, we're doing something a little bit different today and shit. We got my bad, let me move my mic. Alright, cool. We got an email from one of the listeners who shall remain nameless. Because I don't like I ain't putting nobody's business out there like that. So he writes us, Dear Smokers Roundtable, I've been dating this girl for about 6 months. Everything's going great, but I have a small problem. Always thought that having a girl that smoked would be awesome, but whenever we're together, she only wants to smoke out of my stash, which is messing up my weed budget. How do I get her off my sack? LOL. Is this a common problem with weed head chicks?
All right, so Mr. Anonymous, I think my advice is just to tell her to stop. She just needs to smoke out of her own shit. You just need to separate it. Like, just like if you're going to keep money separated. Because it is literally money.
Well, what's your approach for that?
I'm going to be straight up and just say, hey, look, you need to smoke out of your own. I'm going to smoke out of my own. And
you don't think that's going to insinuate any sort of confrontation or anything like that? We don't want to fuck up his relationship.
I'm sorry?
We don't want to fuck up his relationship. We don't want to send him into a fight.
But okay, fine. If you don't want to send this guy into a fight,
you try to make it an easy transition for the young man.
I would just stop buying weed. And then let's see if she would be willing to share, and in time of need.
That's
if you want to be passive about it.
Yeah, depending on what the connect is and shit like that. Like, I've had a situation that was very similar to this, where, when we're together,
girls,
right? If I tell her to roll something, she's trying to roll it out of my bag and shit like that, and then it's fucked up. It's, in fact, I'm gonna say majority of the girls that I've dated that smoked, that is almost the scenario.
They just take out of your shit too, just like this guy.
Well, see, it's tough to say because, I can't say it particularly, but there were times where it wasn't an issue for me to just roll something up. We'll say that. You know what I mean? When you got a healthy little stash on you, it's not that big of a deal. Let's just put it that way, right? But there was a time where I was regular Joe Schmo, getting little quarters and shit here and there, and that's happened. And honestly, it might be an issue if you date chicks that are like, remember back in the day, like someone would hit you up and be like, yo, you trying to smoke? Like, yeah. And then you come over and they're like, you got weed? Like, remember, like, with certain people that smoke weed, some people are weed assholes.
Yes.
Like, they treat weed like it's money, like you said. You know what I'm saying? So they're really, really greedy about smoking around other people, or smoke my shit, or, you know what I mean? Or smoke your shit and not smoke my shit. And the motherfuckers like that. So that, I'm not gonna say all weed head chicks are like that, but I've encountered some chicks where it's been,
it's to that point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're just kind of fed up, and you're like, look, this used to last me a month. Now it's only lasting me 2 weeks. What's going on here? Do I have to keep refilling this account?
Yeah, what he may see, I don't know if he's living with her. Well, they've been dating for about 6 months, so let's say they're probably not living together.
All right.
Right.
So, but like, even so, is it that much to the point where they see enough? You know what I mean? Like, if he's not even living with her and he's already sick and tired of this.
I mean, if that's what they do every weekend, if you get together and you want to smoke, fucking eat junk food with your girl, you probably smoking a lot of shit.
Probably.
You know what I'm saying? It can happen, man.
Yeah.
It can happen.
That's true.
What I would say is probably the better bet is, I don't know how much you're copping on a regular, but you need to start divvying out your weed, right? So if I go over someone's crib and I'm smoking, I got my little jar that came with the G pen or whatever, and I'll just cram that and I'll bring that over a little container, right? Yeah. So I'm not bringing my whole stash over. Some people do that. They'll bring out their entire stash and I don't ride like that because I don't want to be on the road that dirty anyway.
Yeah, man.
But, you know what I mean? I'll bring like a gram or two out or whatever. And that's what I'm smoking when I'm out. When I'm out of herb. You know what I mean? So if you go into your lady's house and that's your situation, just bring over like a gram or two.
Yep.
And when you out of herb, you out of herb. Now, if she coming to your place, you might want to start divvying up your shit. Like sometimes if you cop an ounce, and you might want to divide it up into quarters. So you got 4 weeks, you got
At
a
a
quarter a
time,
week.
yeah.
So that's the sack. And
That's a
roll
good-
up, nigga. You roll.
That's very good.
Don't let
point.
your lady roll. You do the rolling,
All right,
even if she insists.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're just gonna have to do yourself.
Yeah,
You
pretty
know what I mean?
much. Pretty much. You know what I'm
I
saying?
like that
But-
suggestion better.
Yeah,
So, Mr. Anonymous,
it
listen
won't start a fight, but at the same time, you might want to be looking into this lady's characteristics, because if she's that type of chick, you might not want to date her anyway.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Have you ever dated a weed head chick before?
Never.
Nah.
Never. I'm disappointed in saying that, but whatever.
You know what? It's not. You have situations like this where weed becomes a factor in the relationship, where it's like, you know, like when you smoke with your boys, you got certain people you just might not want to smoke with because of how they smoke, right? Because they're greedy motherfuckers or whatever. It's the same thing with your
Yeah.
chick.
Yep.
How does she smoke? Is she a generous smoker?
Or-
Is
yeah.
she a scavenger smoker? You know
pretty
what I
much.
mean? So you got to break down.
You gotta figure
so
that
it's
out.
not even enough just to find a chick that smokes. You got to find a chick that smokes like you. You know what I'm saying? So it opens up a whole nother category.
So it makes the bullseye even smaller.
Even smaller.
Motherfucker.
Even smaller. So it's cool. I enjoy dating a chick who doesn't mind that I smoke and embellishes every once in a while. I find that to almost be the best case scenario
Where she
at
would
this point
toke
in
up
life.
just for the hell of it.
She might hit something every once in a while, but she don't really smoke like I do.
Right.
She might, you know what I mean, want to hit a little herb on the weekend or something, but for the most part, she's not a big smoker. So then it's nothing when you want to hit the blunt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, because she's not really smoking, like
Exactly.
rolling, you know what I'm saying,
smoking
cannons and shit.
yeah.
My man, he
Looks like
always
a-
complains about this shit.
have a
Like, yo,
pregnant one?
she will go half on something, and then she'll just roll these cannons, and like, you don't need to do that.
They just want to get high, really. That's when you know
Like,
the
don't
grittiest
have to do
fog.
it. Yeah, you don't
Because they
have
just-
to do it that way, man. But that's why you got to do the rolling. As the man, as nice as it is to come home to a rolled blunt, sometimes I feel like if it's your weed, roll yours.
Right? Why can't you just
Roll yours.
roll it before you come home? I mean, when you leave and then you come home and you have it ready.
Yeah, I say roll yours. I'm all about rolling mine anyway. I'm a roller type of guy. Or you could do like pipes and shit. Get into that type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that conserves
That does conserve,
herb
and it's
overall as well.
less toxic than smoking a blunt or papers.
Yeah, you get less. I'm not gonna say carcinogens, but you know what other shit that's in blunts and shit. So yeah,
Right.
you might want to try to do that. But,
Healthy alternative.
Yeah. But big shots to all the weed head chicks out there. They ain't, it's just, again, if you're a fucking scavenger smoker, I don't fucking want to smoke with you anyway. I don't fuck with them type motherfuckers.
Yeah, because your ass would be broke quick.
Yeah.
Like, I had to pick between food and weed. Shit.
I've been there. But yeah, man. So good luck with that. Hopefully you might want to just get away from that bitch though. But
Yeah, seriously.
yeah, if anyone else out there has any sort of
Email us.
questions, concerns, you can
Advice.
email us at thesmokersroundtable@gmail.com. Stay in touch with us via thesmokersroundtable.com. That's the website. Should be where you got this podcast off of, just in case you didn't. Shit.
Bookmark us.
Follow us on Twitter at SmokersRT.
Yep.
Instagram, The Smokers Roundtable.
Hit us up. Got questions, thoughts,
No
comments, criticizing us, whatever.
doubt.
I want to hear your voice.
Word,
Through
word.
your
I
fingers.
Got music for sale up on my website, eyeinsee.com, EYEINSEE. And shit, man. You got anything else you gotta say to the people?
Nah, just enjoy life every day and just live it up.
Sounds good to me. All right, y'all. Signing out. Smokers Roundtable.